Hi, everyone. It looks like we are live. Um, yeah, if someone could it looks like there's about 62 people on the live. So if you could just do me a solid and let me know if the audio is okay, just drop a comment in the live stream chat. Thank you. Okay, great. It looks like audio is coming through. Let's just see. Got to just do the due diligence, make sure everything's working correctly. Okay, perfect. Yay. Thank you all so much. I appreciate that. Um, Wonderful. Awesome. Thank you so much for confirming. Oh, technology, you never know. You could do everything right, but there's always something that you're just like, I don't quite trust you. You haven't earned my trust. Okay, wonderful. Yes, everyone, please take time to greet each other in the chat, say hello. This is in lieu of an in-person class where we could all see each other and hug each other and share energy. So let's try to do that virtually if we can. I'll go ahead and get started. Oh, this is so exciting and wonderful. Okay, let me move back. All right. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is Divya. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm coming to you today from California in America, and it's a beautiful day outside. The sun is shining, and I feel so grateful. My heart is pounding, but it's because I'm so happy and excited to be here with all of you. Wonderful people. Thank you for the immense outpour of support that you have all shown in the past week. People always say this, but I truly did not expect any of it, and it has crossed any expectation I could have ever had. I think you all just showed up and showed out and really proved how powerful love can be, despite not being there in person to witness something. So thank you all for donating, for sharing the information, for helping spread awareness, for participating and in these community conversations that can sometimes be uncomfortable and hard, and for supporting and advocating for accountability in the sort of Western world to come to India's support at this really, really difficult time. I think these are all necessary conversations and necessary parts of growth, which can often be uncomfortable. And that's it. Thank you so much for all of that support. The intention for today's class and the focus is collective healing and collective consciousness. So in Sanatana Dharma, which is sort of the indigenous faith upon which Hinduism and the likes of that religion are based, it's very much rooted in sort of collective purpose and collective energy. There are a lot of practices that we do in this culture, such as group singing, group chanting, that are all meant to sort of expand on one person's energy and their healing power and just multiply that and spread that to others. So really, when we do practices like this, we are sparking, we're taking point of, and we're sparking that divine within ourselves, and we're trying to spark that in the person next to us or through the screen. So that is the focus of today's class. It's why before class, for those of you who've been following me on Instagram, I asked you to please take some time to ground yourself, to center your mind, focus your mind, and come with a positive spirit, because it's very integral to today's practice. Just got some notes here. So before we get started, I wanted to start by acknowledging Lord Ganesha, who in Hindu culture Dharma is often invoked at the start of something new to bring in blessings, to bring in protection and safety for everyone involved. The story of Ganesha is quite interesting. So Lord Shiva, who's one of the sort of predominant deities in the Holy Trinity of the spirituality, known as the destroyer of evil, his wife Parvati and they lived in the forest, and at one point he had to leave to go attend to a duty, and in his absence his wife Parvati became quite lonely and decided she wanted to create a son for herself. So using mud and sandalwood and turmeric, she designed a son of her own. And one day she was taking a shower and asked her son to stand guard outside and not let anyone through. But it happened at the same time that Lord Shiva was returning from his trip, and they hadn't met each other, Shiva and his son. So he kept trying to enter, but this person would not let him pass. So eventually, in a sort of fit of fury, he beheaded his son, and Parvati came out running, saying, "What have you done? This is your son. How could you do this?" So in the moment, Shiva said, "I'm going to go into the forest, and the first living being that I find, I will replace his head with what I find." And after searching long and hard, he came across an elephant. And that's when he brought the head of the elephant to his son to revive him as Lord Ganesha. So this is sort of why anytime we do something new or we do something with intention and we want it to go well, we ask for the blessings of Ganesha, for this entity, this energy that offers us protection and guidance during very difficult times. So that's why I have Ganesha here today with me. And let's see what else I got going on here. Right, before we get started, because this is a one-way broadcast and I can't see any of you, if you do record or document your process, please do share that with me. You can tag me on Instagram. I would love, love, love to see all of your beautiful faces practicing. Nothing would make me happier. And so coming back to our focus, first thing we're going to do is go through a mantra. But I want to set up a little bit of context. So in Sanatana Dharma, it's believed that the separation of spirit, the separation of all of our spirits, is what breeds suffering. And the antidote to this is collective consciousness and collective healing. So in doing this, what we do is we invoke our dharma and our karma. Dharma meaning our purpose, and karma meaning our sort of cumulative scorecard is one way of saying it, but really the sum of all of our actions and deeds. All of this together brings us to who we are in the present. So in the mantra that we're going to be saying today as a group, we are invoking sonic healing or sound healing, which is incredibly powerful. So this is why it's very important that when you call something a mantra, not mantra, first of all, a quick Sanskrit lesson, it's mantra. It has to be intentional, and it has to be something that's referring to words or phrases that have sonic power and sonic healing capability, vibrational healing capability. Anything else is an affirmation, and that's wonderful. Mantras are very different. So mantra is what we're doing today, and we're going to be saying a Dhanvantari mantra, which is a healing mantra. So Lord Dhanvantari is an avatar of Lord Vishnu, who is also one of the Holy Trinity that I referred to earlier. Vishnu is known as the preserver of all things and the sort of safeguarder. And Dhanvantari, this avatar, is known to be the father of Ayurveda, which is sort of a sister science to yoga. And the mantra that we're saying now is one that asks for healing, asks for the relieving of pain and suffering for all human beings, and to call on medicinal healing, love healing, anything that can help our global family. And just to sort of accentuate the power of this mantra, I'm going to also ask that we take Ganesha mudra. And mudras are hand binds or hand postures that we do that tap into reflexology. So every one of our fingers corresponds to a different element in the body, such as earth, space, air, fire, and water. And this mudra that we're taking, one is supposed to invoke protection in us, and it's supposed to help us expand on the loving capability that we have and the healing power that love has. So to get into Ganesha mudra, you can open your hands out wide first. Bring your hands together, fingers to touch in front of the heart, Anjali mudra. Swivel your hand so that the right hand is now pointing to the left hand is pointing to the right. Your left hand is close to the body, right hand is out further. From here, slide your hands apart so that your fingers are now overlapping. And when you're here, now curl the fingers in together to interlock your hands like so, and then have your right palm facing in towards the heart. And yeah, like I said, this one, it sort of corresponds to the Anahata chakra, which is the heart chakra here, which is our healing and loving center. This mantra combined with this powerful mudra helps us to sort of broadcast that love up and out of our system into the energetic fields around us. And hopefully with this collective power of everyone who's attending live, we can really magnify this potential and this capability. So take this mudra, hold it up near your chest, sit up nice and tall through the spine. Go ahead and start taking a deep breath. You can seal the lips if you like, close your eyes or let your gaze fall down towards the floor. Start sipping in the breath. Let your spine get nice and long. Invite expansion all the way up through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, keep the length in the spinal channel as you root down through your seat. Get grounded, become one with the earth. I'm going to go slow so that you can listen and repeat after me on your end. And then we'll try to go through it twice more together as best as we can. Om. You can repeat after me. Vasudevaya vidmahe. Vaidyarajaya dhimahi. Tanno dhanvantri prachodayat. We'll go through that 2 more times. Om Vasudevaya vidmahe Vaidyarajaya dhimahi Tanno dhanvantri prachodayat. We'll do that 1 more time. Om Vasudevaya vidmahe Vaidyarajaya dhimahi Tanno dhanvantri prachodayat. Sorry. Whew. Look at that. I guess I'm feeling the love from all of you. So like I said, this mantra is calling on the healing powers of this energy, this power, this force. And it essentially translates to, I bow to the healing powers of Vasudevaya or Dhanvantri. And may your powers bless the people of this world. Relieve their suffering. And bless them abundantly with health. All right, we got this. This is real, folks. All right, let's move on to our pranayama practice. So I hope that you all felt the power of that mantra. For our pranayama today, which is our breath control practice, we're going to tap into our lung capacity and really accentuate our breathing and expand on that. And the name of the so sorry. And the name of the pranayama that we're doing today is called Dirgha Pranayama, also known as complete breath or 3-part breath. So for the first portion, go ahead and get into a comfortable seat. Sukhasana is an easy one where you can just simply cross your ankles, lean forward a little bit with your roots so that you have sort of a seal through your bottom half through your seat. Let your knees fall out wide to the sides. Sit up nice and tall, expand up through the spine. And bring your hands down towards your hips. The first section of this breathing will be focused on our stomach, breathing into the belly. So bring your hands around to the side with your fingertips to meet at your navel and your thumbs sort of wrapping around your hips. Oh, that light's really annoying. And bring your fingers to touch at your navel. So for 2 counts, we're going to inhale into the belly, and then for 2 counts, we'll exhale out through the belly. And as you breathe, try to really exaggerate the movement so that your fingertips pull apart from each other. For the second part, we'll move up towards the rib cage, and we're gonna breathe in for 3 counts. So you'll have your fingertips meet at the front of the rib cage, and as we exhale, let the fingertips come back together. Same thing, try to exaggerate the movement and really draw the space between the ribs wider. For the third portion, we're gonna bring our hands up to the chest, with fingertips to meet at the sternum, breastbone here. We'll breathe in for 4 counts and try to, again, exaggerate this movement so that as we exhale fully, our fingers are drawing apart. And as we inhale, and as we exhale, they come back together. And we'll do this for a few rounds. I'll guide you through the first round. Start down at the belly. And if you can, try to breathe through your nose. All right, let's inhale to the belly for 2, 1. Exhale for 2 and 1. Hands up to the ribs. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale 3, 2, and 1. Hands up to the breastbone, to the chest. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go through this for 3 more rounds. Inhale to the belly, 2, 1. And exhale for 2 and 1. Hands to the rib cage. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 3, 2, and 1. Hands up to the chest. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Inhale to the belly. 2, 1. Exhale 2, 1. Hands up to the ribs. Inhale 3, 2, 1. Exhale 3, 2, 1. To the chest. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. This is a really great pranayama to become very much in touch with your breath and the capability that you have in your body to take in more breath, and to also put a lot of attention on your exhale so that we're exhaling fully, pushing out all the toxins that our breath can dispel from the body. Just kind of brings more awareness into the body. And as they say, my friend Pooja, she actually said this yesterday, something really amazing, that prana flows where the awareness goes. So we just think, no, it doesn't matter where in the body you put your attention, air is going to go where it goes. That's not necessarily true. Prana, which is the life force that we all have in our body, that carries the breath where it needs to go. Our body is intelligent. So where we send our attention, that's where the prana and the life force goes. It knows. It's very smart. So the next pranayama we're going to do is just a bit of ujjayi breath, or victorious breath, to start bringing some heat into the body to lead us into movement, asana. So start with your hands out at the sides with your palms facing up. Again, seal the lips. Draw your tongue to the roof of your mouth and seal off the back of your throat, so that when you inhale and exhale, it now sounds like a deep sort of oceanic sound like this. So it's a little bit different than nasal breathing, which is a little bit more on the surface. Ujjayi breath generates heat in the body, and it can be very detoxifying because it sort of takes the tissues, permeates them even deeper, and starts to pull toxins out of the deeper layers. So as we do our inhales and exhales, on our inhale, we're going to have our hands out to the side, collect this energy in air, bring it up towards the crown of the head, gaze to follow, palms touch. And as you exhale, bring the palms to face out, push the energy back down and out to the sides. And we're going to do this for 5 rounds together. So let's inhale, and let's try to do this for 4 counts. So inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. If you like, we can start getting some gentle spinal warm-ups in. So as you inhale, bring the hands up to the center. On the exhale, let the left hand drop to the front, right hand drops behind the body. Turn the gaze over the right shoulder, really pulling the belly button into the spine here to help hollow the belly out. Exhale fully as you twist. Inhale back up to center, arms up overhead. Keep that Ujjayi breath, folks. Exhale, let's twist to the left. Right hand goes forward, left hand behind the back. Keep the spine nice and tall as you twist over your left shoulder. Exhaling fully, glue the belly button into the spine, push all the stale air out. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. And exhale, release the hands down to the side. Let's go ahead and prep for our asana practice now. So come onto the hands and knees for tabletop position, Padmasana. Have your hands spaced apart as wide as your shoulders and your knees spaced apart as wide as your hips. And release to the tops of your feet so you're not tucked up on your toes. So let's take a moment here and walk through 3 of the most, critical bandhas for our asana practice, starting with Hasta Bandha, or the hand bind. So put your focus down on your hands. Tilt the weight back on the wrist slightly. Pick up the roots of your fingers and then slowly stretching your fingertips out, lay your fingers down back on the mat, back down on the mat, starting from your outermost fingers, moving inwards. Now from here, put some intentional pressure into the pads of your fingers and the roots of your fingers. From here, suck the mat into your hand, almost like you're trying to just pull the whole mat into the center of your palm, and immediately you should feel sort of a doming on the inside of your palm. What this does in Hasta Bandha, or hand bind, is it activates all the muscles in our fingers that usually lay dormant. So it's teaching our hands to act like our feet and grip the earth the way that our feet do so nonchalantly. Our hands aren't used to that. So more tactically, this also takes pressure off of the wrist joint in any arm balancing or inversion or weight bearing pose. This allows the muscles in our hands to do more of the work. So from here, after sort of getting that suction motion going, now actively push the mat away and you'll feel an extension through the back of the arms, the triceps here. And naturally, your shoulder blades will also start to move out to the sides of the body and separate away from the spinal column. This also sends protection through the biceps and takes a little bit more muscular load off of the wrist joint here. All right, moving on. Let's tuck the chin in towards the chest and bring the chest a little bit closer into the chin. So what this does is release the back of the cervical spine here, the back of the neck. This is called Jalandhara Bandha, or the chin bind. This is a really great way to relieve pressure on the neck, and it's also often used in meditation to sort of seal off energy in the higher chakras or the higher sources of consciousness to help you get into that meditative state. So finally, in this posture, let's pull the belly button not only back into the spine, but imagine that you're pulling it back and then also up towards the back of the rib cage here. This is called Uddiyana Bandha, or the upward flying lock, also known as abdominal bind. This uses all the core muscles, not just the ones in the front, but in the back too, so that your lower back never takes strain, or it's assisted in any position where it's being flexed or activated. And finally, push the tops of your feet firmly into the mat so that your thighs and your glutes become engaged, taking the pressure off of your knees. All right, so from here, let's move into some Bithilasana Madhyayasana, cat-cow pose. So on your inhale, turn the tailbone up towards the ceiling, drop the belly, pinch the shoulder blades in together, lift through the crown of the head, gaze follows. This is Bithilasana cow pose. On your exhale, start by tucking the chin into the chest, Jalandhara Bandha. Push the mat away, separating the shoulder blades, Hasta Bandha. Pull the belly button into the spine and round down through the tailbone to hollow out the belly. Let's start flowing with this now. Inhale, articulate each part of this movement, Āsana. Exhale, reverse the movement, starting with the chin, shoulders, belly, tailbone. Madhyadhyasana, cat pose. Really pull your spine up towards the ceiling, almost like there's a string attached to it. 3 more times with flow. Inhale. Keep that Ujjayi breath activated. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And now bring your knees as wide as the mat. Sink the hips back to rest between the heels. Pull the arms forward to extend through the spine. Release to the chin or to the forehead for child's pose, Balasana. Take a few deep breaths here, get into the body. Now, re-engage your hands, grip the mat firmly under your fingertips, and I also want you to now glue your forearms down to the mat. So we're gonna move through what I like to sort of affectionately call the Bhujangasana push-up or the Cobra push-up, which is an excellent way to start getting heat in the body quickly. My favorite warm-up. So grip through the fingers, glue your forearms down, and now slowly pick up your chest just a little bit off the mat, about a centimeter or so. On your inhale, we're going to start peeling the chest forward. And when the chest comes to about in line with your shoulders, it's natural for your forearms to want to pick up. This is when I ask you to glue them down even harder and instead engage through your palms. Use your hands to help you grip here. Maintain balance as you pull the chest forward, not picking up your elbows until the very end when you've come all the way through. The hands, chest is lifted. So press down through the tops of the feet, activate through the thighs. Keep your elbows glued into the sides of the body as well, not out wide. And chest pulls forward just past the hands. Lift your gaze forward. On your exhale, push the hips back, child's pose, Balasana. So we're gonna go through this 5 more times in a flow. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, Balasana. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. When you get back this time, go ahead and come to the tops of your toes. Push the hips up, coming to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Our first sort of inversion, if you will. So re-engage your Hasta Bandha immediately. Grip the mat firmly underneath your fingertips. Bring those shoulder blades to the outside of the body and wrap your elbows down into the midline of the body. Instead of having them pointing out to the sides, wrap them inwards. From now, push the mat away. Tuck the chin into the chest. Release the back of the neck, Jalandhara Bandha. Direct your gaze in between the feet, between the knees, or even towards the navel. Speaking of the navel, let's go ahead and engage that Uddiyana Bandha, pulling the belly button back into the spine, taking the strain off the lower back. And lastly, push your heels down towards the floor. They may not touch, which is completely fine. It's the effort in the calves that we're going for here. Take 1 breath, get situated. Exhale. Inhale, gaze forward. I'm going to call gaze drishti, moving forward, which is just the focus point that your eyes rest on. And slowly walk your feet up behind your hands. Bend the knees deeply. Let the belly rest on the thighs. Grab opposite elbows. Release the crown of the head, the top of the head down towards the mat, so that the added gravity and weight helps traction the spine down, releasing any kinks and extending through the full spinal column, and just swing back and forth. Take a moment here to do whatever movement just feels nice and helps you come back into the body. From here, keep your feet firmly rooted on the ground. Re-engage that belly button as you slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time, keeping that belly engaged the whole way up, coming to a standing at the top of your mat. One bandha that I want to talk about, and bandha, I keep saying this, I realize I didn't introduce what it is. Bandhas, for anyone who's not aware, are bandhas are energetic locks that we create in the body. So just like mudras, hand binds, and asana, which is whole body mudras actually, bandhas are just locks that we create with our internal organs, internal muscles. It's not just about where we put our limbs, about the control we have inside the body. That not just helps us protect our joints and our muscles, but it also helps us to start working within the energy in the body and activating through different chakras, sending our prana where our awareness goes. So it's very important to use bandhas when you practice. So bring your feet about hip width apart or about 6 inches apart, whatever allows you to stand firmly. Lean back on your heels slightly, just like we did with our wrist joint. Fan your toes out wide and start laying them back down on the mat, one toe at a time, starting from your outermost toes, working inwards. When all of the surface of your foot is down on the mat and the full sole is exposed, then now go ahead and grip the mat underneath the toes, and you'll instantly feel an activation, a lift through the kneecaps and activation through the front of the thigh muscles here. So this is the difference between simply standing passively and standing with intention. This is mountain pose, Tadasana. And in sort of mythology, mountain pose is how we root down and ground down through the earth, drawing up energy through our Ida and our Pingala nadis, which are the two energetic channels that sort of travel along the spinal column, carrying our pranic energy through the body. And the Ida nadi, this energetic channel, is associated with our feminine spirituality, with the left brain, I believe. I always get those mixed up. I think it's the left brain, and it's associated with lunar energy. The Pingala nadi, which is the masculine sort of prana, is associated with the sun and gives us a little bit more of that fiery, that tapas, that discipline of the body. So go ahead and get a nice firm standing. Exhale, have your hands out to the sides. Sorry, inhale, have your hands out to the sides. And on the exhale, bring your palms together at the chest. Prānāyāma. From here, inhale, lift the arms up towards the heavens, slight bend in the upper back. So once again, starting from the feet, engage through the toes, lift up through the kneecaps, slightly tuck the tailbone in forward to not strain the lower back. Knit the ribs in towards the back of the body. Roll the shoulders down away from the ears and lift up energetically through the fingertips. Urdhva Hastasana, upward facing hand posture. As you exhale, bring the hands together overhead, bringing them down through the heart. Hinge forward at the hips, leaning down towards the mat. Finally, release your hands down towards the feet. You can bend the knees if you like to. Coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. Or if you want to have your hand, if the flexibility in your calves is present, you can have your hands connect with your feet for Pada Hastasana, hand to foot pose. Release the weight fully, letting the weight of the spine traction down towards the mat. From here, plant the hands down on the mat, step the right foot back to a low lunge, and release down to the top of the foot on the right leg. Reach the crown of the head forward, pull the chest forward. Ashwa Sanchalasana, equestrian pose. So this is a posture that translates to horse movement. And what we're doing is a traditional 12-step Surya Namaskar. It might be unfamiliar to some of you if you're used to practicing the more modern style of vinyasa. This is a bit different. From here on, continue with your inhale. Push the left leg back, coming into Phalakasana, plank pose. Hold your breath here for a moment as you push back actively through the heels, like you're trying to place your feet on a mat or a wall. Push the mat away with your hands, activating your Hasta Bandha. Slightly tuck the tailbone in, gaze forward. From here, drop down to the knees, drop the chest down to the mat, and keep the hips lifted. This is key. So the only points of contact here, this pose is called Ashtanga Namaskar, or 8-point salute. Your toes are on the mat, so both feet, both knees, hip is lifted, chest contacts the mat, and chin is also in contact, and your hands as well. Keep those elbows glued into the sides of the body. Exhale here. As you inhale, pull the chest through, coming to the tops of the feet, pulling the elbows back into the body. Gaze goes forward. Bhujangasana, cobra pose. On your exhale, push the hips up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take one breath here. Push down through the heels, stretching the calves. You can bend one knee at a time if you like. Inhale, drishti forward between the hands. Exhale, step or walk the feet up. Uttanasana or Pada Hastasana. Release the crown of the head. Inhale, come up, Urdhva Hastasana, upward facing hand pose. Exhale, Prānāyāma, hands to the heart. All right, we're gonna go through that a couple more times. So that was one half, what we just did. We're gonna do the same thing on the left-hand side now. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, upward facing hand pose. Exhale, Pada Hastasana, or Uttanasana, forward fold. This time we're gonna bring the left leg back. So on our inhale, bring the left leg behind us, releasing to the top of the foot, chest pulls forward, Ashvasanchalasana. Continue holding the breath as we push back to Phalakasana, plank pose. Exhale, Ashtanga Namaskar, 8-point salute. Inhale, Bhujangasana, cobra. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. One breath here. Inhale, drishti forward. Exhale, step or hop the feet up. Uttanasana or Pada Hastasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Slight bend in the upper back. Exhale, Prānāyāma. So we've just completed one round doing the left and the right sides of the body. We're going to go through that flow 2 more times all together. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Pada Hastasana. Inhale, Ashvasanchalasana, right leg back. Continue, Phalakasana. Exhale, Ashtanga Namaskar. Keep those hips lifted, folks. Inhale, Bhujangasana, pull the chest forward, elbows in. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, left foot forward. Oh, sorry, right foot forward. Nope, left foot forward. Exhale, Pada Hastasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Prānāyāma. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Pada Hastasana. Inhale, Ashvasanchalasana, this time left leg back. Exhale, Phalakasana to Ashtanga Namaskar. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, left foot forward, Ashvasanchalasana. Sorry, that was supposed to be an inhale. Exhale, Pada Hastasana, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, upward facing hand posture. Exhale, hands to the heart, Prānāyāma. All right, let's move into some dynamic movement, a different type of Surya Namaskar. So on our inhale, bring the feet about hip width apart. Sink the hips down as low as is comfortable for you. And from here, engage through your Padabandha, your foot bind. However, I want you to add a level of spice here and to separate the feet, pull them apart energetically so that you activate through the sides of the thighs here. In addition, I want you to bring attention to the root of your seat right now, sort of between the front and the back of the body. The best way I can describe this is if you really need to pee, but you have to hold it, that sort of upward suctioning that you do, That's the sort of focus that you want here in the body to activate the Mula Bandha, or the Mula, the root lock of the body. This activates through the Muladhara chakra, which is our root chakra, having to do with grounding. And it's also where the Kundalini energy in the body, the main flow of pranic energy through the central spinal column, it tends to leak out through the Muladhara chakra. So this is where we want to protect that energy, keep it in the body by activating through the Muladhara chakra and holding that in. So activate through there, sink deeply through the hips, round the tailbone forward slightly, engaging that Uddiyana Bandha, and finally float the arms up for Utkatasana chair pose. Reach actively through the fingertips here, pulling them away from the body. Lift your gaze up towards the fingers and exhale. Uttanasana, forward fold. From here, inhale, gaze forward. We're slightly shifting gears here, gaze forward. Adha Uttanasana, halfway lift. In this posture, I want you to keep the crown of the head reaching forward, lengthening through the spine. Pull the shoulder blades in together so that you open through the chest as well. You can have your hands on your shins as well. Pull the shoulder blades in together so that your chest is open rather than collapsing down. Gaze goes forward. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, Phalakasana. If you like, you can go through Chaturanga Dandasana or Ashtanga Namaskar. So for Chaturanga Dandasana, keep your knees lifted off the mat, hug the elbows into the sides of the body as you lower the chest down, gaze forward. Inhale, upward facing dog or Bhujangasana. For upward facing dog, you keep your thighs lifted off the mat, pressure on the tops of the feet, push the mat away, pull the shoulder blades in together, open through the chest. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. One breath. Re-engage through your Ujjayi if you did lose it. On your inhale, lift your right leg high, stretching all the way from your fingertips to your toes. Take a peek at your right hip. If it's peeling up and open to the right, go ahead and level it back down to the mat and then push your right heel up towards the ceiling. From here, on our exhale, bend the knee, start shifting the weight forward, but keep the knee hugged into the body. Use your Uddiyana Bandha, your abdominal muscles, to not just bring your knee forward, but up into the body. Shift the weight forward so your shoulders are over the wrists. And then plant the hand behind the right hand. Sorry, plant the foot behind your right hand. For low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Whew. It's about the time where I start to run out of breath. From here, spin the left heel down to the mat, gluing down the outer edge of your left foot. Walk your feet apart slightly so you have a nice wide foundation. Finally, inhale, float the hands up to the ceiling. For warrior one, Virabhadrasana. And this posture, I love to tell this story about Virabhadrasana. It's actually a Shiva posture. It sort of demonstrates the transformation of Shiva from being Shiva, as we know him, into Virabhadrasana, his warrior form. And he's doing this because he's enacting revenge on someone who's done him wrong. So he transforms into Virabhadra, strong, grounded, present. So, and anatomically speaking, keep pushing down to the outer edge of your left foot so that your left leg stays activated. Lean forward into your right foot, but keep the knee pulling in towards the big toe mound so that you're hugging your legs into the midline of the body rather than having them go in opposite directions, which will be destabilizing. From here, pull the left hip forward and pull back into your right hip crease so that your hips are level with the front of your mat. Finally, all the usual suspects, roll the shoulders away from the ears, pull up through the fingertips. Gaze forward or up if you want a balanced challenge. On your exhale, keep everything as is. Open the arms out wide to the front and back of the mat. Drishti is over your front middle finger. Pull the fingers apart energetically. Pull the thighs in towards each other energetically. Lower the shoulders away and breathe. So in this posture, Virabhadrasana 2, this is when Virabhadra is beheading his enemy, Daksha, who's really his father-in-law, in a fit of fury. So this is sort of the enactment of that anger, the manifestation of that fury. The destructive quality of Shiva is sort of shown here. And from here on our inhale, start by swinging your left hand to meet the right hand. Come up onto your back toes, so you're coming up off the side of your foot. Shift your weight forward over your right leg, and then slowly float your left heel up off the mat, coming to Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. Pull your heel and your fingertips in opposite directions. Bring your left hip down towards the mat so the hips are even. Engage through your Uddiyana Bandha and push the floor away using your right foot so that you don't collapse on the right thigh. And this is the posture. It's okay to fall out of it. This is the posture where Shiva sacrifices Daksha's head into the fire. On your exhale, drop the foot down, drop the hands down. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Inhale, step the foot back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. All right, let's do this again on the left. Inhale, float the left leg high. Once again, stretch through the feet, level the left hip down to the mat. Exhale, bend the knee into the body, shift the weight over the wrist, drop the left foot behind the left palm. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Spin the right heel down to the mat. Walk the feet wide enough apart to feel stable. Bend over the left knee. Float the arms up into the air. Virabhadrasana 1. Same thing. Pull your right hip forward while pulling back into your left hip crease. Pressure down through the outer edge of the right foot. Sink deeply over the left knee, pulling the knee in towards the big toe mound into the midline of the body. Float the hands up. On your inhale, reach up through the fingertips, get extension through the spine. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open the arms out wide. Virabhadrasana 2. Keep your legs exactly as they are. Pull your fingertips apart energetically. Pull the thighs in together. And hold. On your inhale, swing your right hand forward to meet the left. Come up onto your back toes. Shift the weight over your left leg. Float the right leg up to the ceiling or up off the mat. Ceiling might be a lot. Find a drishti point if you can, a stable, unmoving point that you can fix your gaze on to act as sort of your second leg, if you will. Keep that heel that's lifted pushing up to the ceiling, but keep the hips level to the mat. Reach the fingertips forward actively. Exhale, release the foot down to the mat. Palms come down, Anjaneyasana. Inhale. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a breath here. We'll go through one mandala, which is a circular flow, and then we'll start cooling down. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, Anjaneyasana, right leg forward. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, flip the right palm up, reach forward, and then bring the hand back, lifting it up into the air for reverse warrior. Left hand comes down to rest on the thigh. Try not to collapse onto your hip and instead pull the ribs up and out of the hip joint. Keep leaning forward to the right heel. On your exhale, spin the right hand down to the mat or to rest on the knee and swing the left hand up into the air for extended side angle pose. You can direct your gaze upwards if you like. From here, on your inhale, swing the hand down to the mat, the left hand down to the mat, dragging it across the left long side of the mat, coming up into star pose. Hands pulling you in opposite directions, chest up nice and tall. On your exhale, pivot. We're going to change directions to face the back of the mat now. Spin your left foot out to face the back of the mat. Bring your right heel out to point to the corner of the top of the mat and direct your gaze over your left hand. So again, we're facing opposite directions now. Gaze over your left fingertips, sink down over your left heel for warrior 2. Inhale, reach the left hand forward, flipping the palm. Reverse the warrior. On your exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the left foot. Pick up your back right heel as you go for Āsana. Inhale here. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Once again, inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, step through, Āsana, low lunge. Inhale, warrior one. Virabhadrasana, we're facing the back of the mat still. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Flip the right palm, lift it up and overhead. Exhale, extended side angle. Float the right hand down to the mat. Spin the left hand up and overhead. Gaze follows. Inhale, come to face the other long side of the mat. Lift the arms up, star pose. Utkarta Konasana, fierce angle pose. Exhale, we're gonna come back to face the front of the mat now. Bending deeply over the left knee, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Flip the left palm up and reach up overhead. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the left foot, picking up your back heel, Āsana. Inhale. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. That was one side. We're gonna do the same thing on the left. Inhale, lift your left leg high this time. Exhale, low lunge, Āsana. Inhale, Virabhadrasana. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Right hand to the thigh, left hand reaches up. Exhale, extended side angle. Left hand comes down to the mat or to the shin. Right hand spins up and overhead. Inhale, walk your hands over to the the right long side of the mat, parallel the feet. Lift up through the fingertips. Star pose. Exhale, warrior two to the back of the mat. So turn your feet to face the back, bending deeply over the right knee this time. Inhale, flip your right palm, reach it up and back, reverse warrior. Once again, try not to collapse on your left hip here. Keep the weight or the rib cage pulling up and out of the hip joint. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, frame the right foot, pick up the left heel. Āsana. Inhale, step back, downward facing dog. And exhale. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, left leg forward. Inhale, warrior one, Virabhadrasana. Exhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. We're facing the back of the mat again. Inhale, reverse warrior, flip the left palm, tick-tock the hands back. Exhale, left hand down to the mat, right hand spins up overhead, extended side angle. Inhale, walk your hands over to the right, parallel the feet, lift up, star pose. Exhale, warrior two to the front of the mat again, bending over the right knee. Inhale, flip the right palm, tick-tock the arms back, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the right foot, pick up the back heel. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. All right, go ahead and lift the right leg up one last time. Bend the knee into the body, shift the weight forward over the hips or over the wrists. Drop your right knee behind the right palm and drop your left foot kind of over to the left side of the mat. Prepping for Ardha Kapotasana, half pigeon. Check over your left shoulder that your left leg is parallel to the mat. Release to the top of the foot if it's not already. And sort of the objective here is to have both of our hips level with the mat. So walk your foot as close into the body or as far out towards being parallel with the top of the mat as is comfortable for you. And that allows both of your hips to be equally spaced from the mat. If your hip is peeking up too much, your left hip, that might mean that you need to bring the foot closer into the body so that there's less strain on the hip joint. When you're comfortable, go ahead and you can stay right here in active half pigeon, pushing the mat away, sitting the spine up nice and tall. Or if you would like a deeper sensation through the back of the hip joint, you can release down to your forearms or even down to your forehead. And you should feel a nice deep stretch through the back of your right hip joint. We'll hold here for 2 breaths. Ujjayi breath in combination with sort of deeply restorative and detoxifying postures like Ardha Kapotasana are really powerful because the breath, the heat of the breath, combined with the sort of deep manipulation and deep massage within the tissues and the joints, like in a pose like this, it's a very powerful combination where we can actually use that heat to draw out the toxins from the deeper layers of the tissues. So really take your time with the breath here. On the completion of that last exhale, go ahead and push yourself back up. On your exhale, tuck your back toes, push the right leg back for Adho Mukha Svanasana once again. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, same thing, shift the weight forward. Drop the knee to the left palm and bring the foot over to the right side of the mat. Same thing, check over your right shoulder that your right leg is parallel to the mat. Release to the top of the foot. Push the chest up, stretching through the spine. Even out your hips. Either hold here or release down to the mat for a deeper sensation in the back of the left hip joint this time, and hold for 2 breaths. All right, from here, go ahead and push yourself back up. On your exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Release the hips, the legs down to the ground. Release the tops of the feet. Sink back to child's pose for a brief moment. And now pull the chest forward until you're fully resting on the belly. Extend the legs out long behind you. Release the hands down to the sides with the palms facing down. We're prepping here for Shalabhasana or locust pose. Zip your legs in together, pointing your toes slightly. Gaze can be forward. And on our inhale, we're going to lift everything up off the mat. So keeping the legs glued in together, we'll lift the legs up. We're going to lift the hands up, keeping the elbows pulled into the sides of the body. And we'll lift the chin up with our gaze forward. And as you lift up, I want you to pinch the shoulder blades in together as well. So on our inhale, let's go ahead and lift everything up. Energetically pull your fingertips back towards the heels. Gaze forward. Try to keep your legs as straight as you can instead of bending the feet back. Keep them straight and pulling back. Pinch the shoulder blades in together to open the chest. But also, I want you to pull your belly button into the spine. Engage your Uddiyana Bandha here. If we're just expanding through the belly and using our belly as the balance point, the lower back actually picks up a lot of strain. So keep your belly button engaged here to support the lower back in this bend. Exhale, release. Bring your hands back under the shoulders. Push your hips back. Child's pose, Balasana. From here, walk your hands back. Sit back on your heels for a moment. And then go ahead and bring your legs out in front of you for a Dandasana staff pose. You can move the flesh out of the way so that you're directly sitting on your sits bones. Once again, ground down through the root of your body. Extend the spine upward like there's a string pulling the crown of your head up. Lift the ribs up and out of the hips. Shoulders roll down, giving the neck space to extend. Inhale, float the hands up to the ceiling, reaching through the fingertips. On your exhale, start reaching forward with the fingertips. Try not to bend through the spine or curve the spine just yet. And flex your toes so that they're pulling back towards the face as well. So as you exhale, keep reaching forward with your fingertips until you've reached your threshold, and then go ahead and soften. Drop the hands down wherever they fall. Soften through the belly. Let go of the spinal hold and just release. All right, from here, lift your hands back up, pulling the fingertips forward. Keep your Uddiyana Bandha engaged, fingers reaching forward as you slowly roll your spine down to the mat with control, one vertebrae at a time, until you release all the way down to your back. We'll do one last posture here before we close out the practice. Bend the knees, bringing your feet into your chest for Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. Grab the outsides of your feet with your hands and just swing back and forth. If you'd like a deeper sensation through the inner thighs, you can extend your legs, straightening them one at a time. Or if you would like a deeper sensation in the hip joint, keep your knees bent and just swing back and forth. Release the legs down to the mat for a brief moment. We're going to skip Shavasana, corpse pose today because we're at time, but I'd like us to close with a very short meditation. Go ahead and roll onto your favorite side. Push yourself up to a seat. Once again, let's take a posture similar to what we started with, Sukhasana or any other pose that feels easeful to you. Sit up nice and tall, ground through the root of the body, extend up through the spine. And we're going to take Prana Mudra today, known as sort of the life force energy in the body. So to do this, have your hands open out wide, bend your pinky and your ring finger down in towards the palm and touch them to your thumb. Make contact between your thumb and your ring finger and your pinky. Your pointer finger, your index finger, and your middle finger will be lifted still, so have them extended out wide. I feel like this is like the ref signal or something. I don't know. I don't watch sports. So release your hands down to your knees. Have your palms facing up. Go ahead and close the eyes, seal the lips. Tuck the chin into the chest. Lift the chest up slightly. Jalandhara Bandha. Let's just start sipping in breath slowly with intention through the nostrils. Let's focus on our heart, cultivating love, ease, and relief for all of our family all around the world. Praying together for the healing of the people of India, the speedy recovery, and for the people to bounce back twice as strong. Prana Mudra activates the pranic energy in our body. It sort of unblocks the flow of prana. So if we're focusing on love, and that's our intention, the prana will start to once again flow wherever the awareness goes. And specifically in this mudra, we are connecting the element of fire in our thumbs with the elements of earth in our ring finger and water in our pinky finger. And all of these things together help unblock prana in the body by activating those same earthly elements in the body. I'd like to close practice with 3 collective ohms. Of course, I can't hear you, but I hope you'll join in with me. I'm going to bring my hands to the heart in Anjali Mudra, activating all 5 elements in the body. I'll take an inhale, and on my exhale, I will say Om. You can join in, doing your best to match pitch, tone, whatever, to help the vibration become more powerful. So take a deep inhale. Go ahead and release the hands. When you're ready, you can float the eyes open, come back to the present. Thank you all so much for joining today's practice. I feel so fulfilled and my heart is just very full of love right now. So thank you all very much for joining me. I hope that you found this practice enjoyable, that perhaps you learned something new, and perhaps you felt that collective energy even through our virtual screen. So that concludes the yoga class portion of our fundraiser. I will be officially closing the fundraiser as of today. So hopefully people don't keep sending money. If they do, then I will just donate that directly as well. But yeah, today, until the end of today, people can continue donating and supporting the cause, and it will all go towards the organizations that I've listed on my post online. As I've mentioned, there will be one more email going out. So in the coming week, what you can expect is I'm going to continue sort of logging anything new that's come in, looking at the collective totals, working with the 2 community members who are using their employer match to double our donations. And from there, I'll be coordinating to make sure that we can get all the funds dispersed between all the 4 orgs that I listed. And the email that I send out later will include the class recording from today. You know, praying nothing goes wrong with the tech. Please, YouTube gods, don't screw me. The recording to the class, proof of donation, and then lots of really, I think, powerful facts about the impact of the fundraiser that I always send every time I do this. And this time it has had a very global reach. So I'm really excited to share with you all where everyone's tuning in from, which is super cool. And just a bunch of other information that, you know, hopefully will be interesting for you as well. So that should come out in a week or so. I don't want to promise that in case something else kind of comes up, but that's the timeline you can expect. So just go ahead and mark me as not spam in your inbox so you get it. And that's all, folks. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions or anything, please reach out as always. And if you did record yourself, please tag me on Instagram so I can see and love on all of you. That's it. That's all I got, guys. Thank you. See you later. See you on the internet. I'm gonna go ahead and close out the live stream now. Yeah, I'll see y'all later. Thank you.